this computer. Okay, so let's look at Bitcoin um, and see what Bitcoin is doing. So let's start on a higher mark or in a higher time frame, which is the monthly chart. So uh, let's do that because we're almost there with our data set. So let's try and make this smaller so we can see what's going on there. That's going there. Okay, so uh, let's make this bigger first, then we can come
I'm
out of
just
it.
muted only when I need to speak. It doesn't disturb the
Yeah,
audio. So
if you wanna, any, if you got a question, you can pause me and you can pause me and ask, and then we can go over stuff if needed. So no problem at all. That's the whole idea of the session. It's not just me talking. It's just if you want to pause, you can pause. I don't know what's going on with my throat anyway. Anyway, so Bitcoin is on the monthly scale. We're on the monthly chart. I've got this trend line here. I think if I'm supposed to cut it on the monthly, then I'll probably cut it here, cut it there, cut it there. But I've drawn it on a weekly chart, so it's in the right places that it's supposed to be. Cutting there, cutting there. So on the weekly chart, it's in the right place. On the monthly chart, if we wanted to, we could draw another one for the monthly chart, which will look much more like, oh, that trend line, yeah. We'll cut it across here. We'll let it cut across there and cut across that point. So you're cutting across the key points there. So on the monthly chart, let's just extend this somewhere there. So on the monthly chart, looks like Bitcoin is broken above the tops, the tops of the candles, yeah. So on the weekly, we still got some way to go. So if we stay above, as long as we close above this line on the monthly chart, then bullish action is very good. So bullish action can continue quite easily. So the monthly chart is looking good. If I just get it out here, volume of monthlies. I mean, the monthly is not finished, so it's very difficult to make any any conclusions from it. Excuse me, I think there's something stuck in my throat, which is causing me a bit of a discomfort, but it's fine. So monthly, it's fine. We've got a bullish candle last month here. This is a bullish candle. And I think last week, these were lines I drew last week. So these lines I drew last week in terms of where price will come to. And as you can see, we kind of fell even slightly below it, below that box. I think this week I would say, if we go to the weekly chart, because that's the one which is of most important. So let's come out of this and see if we can make this a little bit bigger. So we're forming this candle here with a long wick at the bottom. And then let me come out of it so you can see. So you got a long wick here, and we are below last week's candle, which is not ideal. Ideally, we would have loved to have been higher, but sometimes you can go slightly lower before the bullish action begins, or sometimes it could be a lower high, or it could be a double bottom. So it's not too bad. But ideally, I wouldn't want price to exceed, 60K. We wouldn't really want price to go below 60K ideally for bullish action to continue. So, I think this week when we close this candle, price will fall in between here. I think in between this box again, I think price will fall into it. That's between 61.4 and maybe 59.872. If I just bring the liquidity map up, because I think that's also important, just to see if it confirms our levels. So if we look at Bitcoin in the 24-hour, you can see there was a huge liquidity there. That liquidity has been eaten. So they've eaten that liquidity now. Let's look at it on a like 48-hour scale and see. There's still some liquidity at 61,700, so I expect that to be taken down. So that definitely will be taken down, and maybe they bring it all the way down to somewhere here, 61K. If we go to say a weekly basis and have a look at it on a weekly basis, there isn't the bigger liquidity is upstairs on a week scale. So maybe after they eat the one on the 3 day, 3 day, yeah. So once this 61,700 maybe is eaten up, they might push it slightly a little bit more, maybe 61.4, and then off back to kind of get this liquidity up here. So yeah, so there's liquidity all the way up to 63,000. So they will eat that liquidity. I think that's what's going to happen is we'll eat the liquidity down here, finish eating it. It's on the 3 days. Yeah, finish eating that one, come down a little bit, and then turn it back up. So our kind of thought process and where liquidity is also kind of aligned from that perspective. So 61, 61.4 will be a very good place. Anywhere, maybe 61K tops, give or take, could easily be tested. So I think that's what we're expecting on a weekly chart. I think we'll probably close the week more or less like this, or more or less. I think it will be like this, and then when we finish, we come back into this candle to the wick here and continue. Let's look at it from a daily perspective, daily chart. Now, this is the thing that I guess for me on the daily chart, it's not great. So we try to go up. This 200 moving average on the daily chart has been a barrier, right? So we try to start to go up. We come up barrier, rejected. We try and come back again, rejected, come back here, rejected, and we kind of being rejected again. So that's not good. Um, 3 times of rejection is not good. However, the day is not finished and anything can happen. But I think with more chances are we come back to test this 50-day moving average here. So this 50-day moving average is sitting at 60,700. So I think this probably comes down into here. Or worst case scenarios, I've drawn these two lines somewhere in between here, price will fall. And then bullish action probably can continue. So that's why I think, on the daily chart, I think, on the daily chart, I think that's probably we come a bit more down first as we already started. And then we can continue. So maybe it becomes like this, like that, and then we go. So something like that, something more like this here. So from here to there, come up here, bring it back down here, and then have a go again, and that's kind of like your lower high type scenario, and then continue the journey. So we definitely come back into this box at some point before we start going up. So tonight into Monday could be a bit downward before we get going again. The reason why I think again is that we will go up is, so I'll show you the CME chart. So if I bring these are the big money traders, right? They call them the CME group. They are basically professional traders, like they've got big money, right? And if you look at their daily chart, you see we've got a bullish triple green, you go up, right? So on their chart, we go up, but they've closed they don't trade on Saturdays and Sundays. Whereas, in the cryptoverse, you have traders trading 24/7, but they don't do it. They only trade Monday into into Friday, and they are closed. So on Friday, we had a bullish three greens set up. So when we open on Monday,
Oh
they will
yeah.
be down, right? They will be down because price is currently at 62.2. They are at 63.3. They're almost a grand down. So, if we hit somewhere here, which is about 50, I think about 60% of the body of their candle, right? Somewhere there, then we continue, right? Which is where I think, that's why I think, 61,400 will be very important. And these guys, they are not the somebody's in the chat. Somebody's put a message in the chat.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, Azane.
Adom. Now,
That's good. Nyame adom. You're doing well. We've got
yeah.
Marshall on the line. Marshall is a veteran of crypto from 2017. So Marshall is on
Amen.
the line. He's been in the business for a long time. So
Okay.
and Marshall lives in Portugal, which is my
Oh, okay.
someday destination.
Joe,
The nice weather of Portugal. Marshall lives there.
it's been raining for the last few weeks. So.
All right, okay. Welcome, John. Okay, so I think because of that, we will come back up because each time they are down, like so if I bring some charts here, like here. So when they closed here, this particular chart, you can see here, they closed this here. When they closed, they come back the following week, and like we kind of gone. Oh no, let me go on weekly chart. Sorry, so we can see the weekly chart action. So yeah, this is their weekly chart, and you can see it's a bullish action, bullish candle. So I expect us to come back into the wick on their chart, somewhere around there, and then continue the journey. Here you can see when they closed this candle, when they came, we'd already run away, right? So Sunday, this was a 8th of July week. So if I bring the 8th of July, 8th of July here. So that week there, when the week ended, they were down, right? The following week, guess what? When they came, we had already gone. They joined the party, but these boys don't let you go and eat. They won't let you eat and they don't eat. So guess what? They move the price back down, right? They moved it back down to close the gap so that they are not at a loss, right? Now they are not at a loss anymore. They are even, and then we can start doing some action. So when they come, wherever we are, if we are down already here, then they're going to move it straight back up. They're going to push it straight back up because they don't want to be sitting in losses. So this is the CME chart. This is the big money traders chart. Yeah. So it's always good to have a look at that as well when we are looking at our charts. This is the 24/7 chart. So everything is moving all the time. Bitcoin doesn't sleep. So I think those key zones will be tested. Those key zones, at the very least, the 61,400 will be tested. So there will be some more downward action on Bitcoin, which a little bit of downward action, which will push some of the coins a bit down, right? Bring them into a zone where maybe, we can all pick some more up if we need to, or provide shorting opportunities, right? So let's look at it from a 12 hours perspective. So on 12 hours, what we can see from here is we're starting to come down. So we started the journey. And again, like I said, this will be tested. 61.4, 61.2, that zone will be tested before we go anywhere. So I expect more downward action here to come here or even down here. So this box sits really well in terms of where we expect price to fall back to. If you go on the 8-hour chart, again, we've done a beautiful move here. And normally what you want to see is when you do a move like that, you want to see a retrace, right? So a lower high, no, a higher high. This is higher than that. So that's a higher high and then you continue the journey. So that's what we want to see. So we want to see us come back down and continue. So this red candle will be exceeded. We'll come back down into it and come into our zone. And then at that point, we look for a bullish candle. So it's looking good on 8 hours. 4 hours, again, it's a very similar story. We can see we kind of gradually coming down. And we are reacting off this 50-day moving average, but maybe we bounce back up to somewhere here and then continue the journey down. So the downward action is going to continue into tomorrow, into midnight, and hopefully probably into tomorrow, early parts of tomorrow. So that's 4 hours. So we know what we are likely to expect on Bitcoin. So let's go and look at some of our favorite coins, right? See what we can see from there. Let's look at TIA. So TIA, for me, like on the weekly chart, I've already marked the zones. Because we know Bitcoin is going to pull back, we expect TIA also to pull back down, right? So if we look at it, I think the base of this candle, this weekly candle, will be tested. That's around 530. I don't think we go anywhere until at least we come down. Bitcoin is going to drop that back down. Then of course this is also going to come back down. So at least come back down into that zone. And maybe if it gets really bad, then we could see us drop maybe even up to what, 530, 513, 518, somewhere there in between these two boxes. I think that's where we'll hit. Last week, I think our levels were hit on point. I've taken the lines off because I put new one on. So that's what I'm expecting on the weekly chart. We'll go higher on TIA next week. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's going to go higher. The only question is, how far do we pull down? So on the weekly chart, we expect some pull down. No, we expect some more upside, but a little bit of a pull down. On the daily chart, if you look at the daily chart, again, you can see there's a lot of sell pressure at the top. So, sellers are selling it away. So when the day, probably by the time the day closes, who knows, maybe we're somewhere here, 565, somewhere there. And then we continue our journey back into this box, into that box there, continue the journey back into this box, because you can't just keep going boom, 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 right? You need a lower high, like the same way we did here. You can't just go, 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 go. We have a lower high, then we go. Same thing happens here. So, if we've done a rise one into here, rise two, we do a fall into somewhere there, and then we go boom. We'll be up to about $8, $7, $8, somewhere there. So that's the setup. So this will come down. I hope it doesn't become like this, but maybe somewhere there, gets to about 63 here, and then we continue our journey down, and then boom. We hit maybe the 50-day MA on the daily chart. That'll be good. That'll be a good place to bounce. So that would be on the daily chart. Let's delete this and look at the 12-hour chart. And again, 12 hours, we went quite good this morning, 618. And then now we're coming back down. So again, I think, that here we probably will say, okay, it'll be good to defend this place here, which is 542. But based on the higher time frame, I think we'll probably break it and test somewhere here, and maybe even bring it somewhere in between here, 521. And if it gets really bad, then of course, we could even be coming under 5. But this is not, I'd say this is not a big, like, take a big shot, because the upside is big, right? This is a minor move. So take profit on your shorts, of course, and then maybe you can add to your long positions if you have already taken some profit on your long position. I took some profit this morning, a little bit of profit, but not much. And then I've increased my shorts accordingly on TIA. So I'm heavily short now. My balance is now, like, if you say 100 coins short, I got 50 long, right? So I'm heavily weighted short. I'll be taking them off as we come down, and then I'll switch it around again, so that I have 100% long and 50% short. But of course, you got to take into account risk management in terms of, if it goes way down, you're still gonna be okay. Yeah. So 8 hours, again, is the same old story on 8 hours. It's coming down, and I think the first step will be here. 555 will be touched first, and then continue the journey and come into our box. So it's all setting up nicely and beautifully. Level 1, level 2, level 3. That's level 1 here, level 2, and then you go out level 3, right? So we can cool off and then continue the journey. And then we've got 4 hours. 4 hours is the same. We've got a triple red scenario here. We've had a bounce up. MACD is still red, so I expect some more downward action on this one. So I expect it to keep coming down. First step will be 65. Next step will be around the 48. And maybe when it gets here, it bounces slightly back up again to about maybe 70. Then continue the journey, obviously, into our box. So again, it's not going to come boom, 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 boom to the box. It will probably come and stop here, bounce up to somewhere there, then bounce again back into the box. So it's all setting up very, very nicely. So that's what we've seen on TIA. So these are zones in terms of a pullback. I think in terms of upside, I always go to the daily chart in terms of where are we expecting, or even the weekly chart, right? So this place here will be tested next week. By Sunday when we speak, it will be here. So we can put another line there. We'll be there. We'll be there. So 687 will be there. So that'll be a good trade after the pullback and get all the way up there, and maybe probably even exceed it. Probably it's very likely. If you go to the weekly chart, the higher target is here. So the higher target is here. 890 is the higher target, because we need to exceed this point here. On the weekly chart, this is level 1, pullback, level 2, somewhere there, 765, and then level 3 takes us to $9. So $9, probably I'll say maybe by the end of October, we'll be heading very close to the $9 mark. So this is a golden opportunity to stack the coins up on our long positions and take real advantage. Don't take profit too early. I think the next time we load your bags, really don't take profits too early. Don't take profits early until at the very least you can see us hitting around $8, maybe like a double top here. 750, you can bank a little bit, yes, tiny amount. And then maybe open some shorts, bring it down, probably comes back down in here somewhere, close some of your shorts, if you want to add to your longs, and then go for the next push up. So that's tier. Let's move on. Any questions on tier before we move on? We all good? Okay, let's move on to render. So render weekly chart. Again, render is, I've got some line, this line here and that line there, trend lines, kind of pierce through it, bounce back up. I think once the week closes, we will have a kind of a retest of that line. So maybe 513, 513, if we could slightly come lower, come slightly lower, 475, maybe even here, 450, depends. So this box, these two boxes here, we will fall back into it, before we go out. So certainly this is 1, this is 2, there's a big move coming on this. And I think, target wise, I think we're talking here. Let me just change that because that's not my entry. Let's change that to profit TP. Let's put that to TP. So yeah, so $8, $9 again, is on the cards on this one. When we go for our next push up, $8, $9 is on the cards on render. That's a given. And then we go to go to the daily chart and go and have a look at the daily chart. And we see here on the daily chart as well. So we're starting to come down. And this particular wick here, this divergence needs to be tested. So if you look at this, that's a triple green. And if you look at the RSI, so we went RSI, I'll put the numbers on it so you can see. So the low point here, RSI was 41.92. And you see on this candle, we go lower, but the RSI is 42.26. So that's a divergence on a daily chart, right? So we've kind of moved up three green candles in a row, and now we kind of doing a retrace to form a lower high. Sometimes we can get a lower high here. Sometimes we can get slightly lower low, or maybe about, 485, somewhere there. We could even have that slightly, and then continue the journey, or even a double bottom. So between here and, so that's over there. So between here and there, I think this is very, very unlikely that it happens. For 402 is not likely. But if it gets really crazy, yes, it could happen. So I think here and here, anywhere in between that box, we will fall between that. I don't think we go anywhere lower than that, but in between this box. So you have level 1 there, level 2 here, and that may be all we get. But if there's a level 3, which normally there is, then we'll fall into that box, and that gives us our level 3. And then off we go to the races there. So that's render. And again, you can see that the volume, the volume always is a telltale sign of things to come. So you see the volume is drying out, right? And then you start falling. Yeah. So whenever volume is dry, you see volume drying out, it's not good. It's a sign. After a big pump like this and big volume, and you start seeing price go up, but the volume is coming down, that tells you that, we are more likely to reverse back down. Yeah. Another example would be maybe if tier is slightly different because tier, the volume is going up. So this is why I'm saying the tier goes up. Next week, we go up at the very least 750. We'll hit there after this kind of slight pullback because of Bitcoin's pullback. But with tier, it's also good to look at like the strength of tier against Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin tier chart. As you can see, Bitcoin is very strong against, tier is very strong against Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin falls, it won't fall as much, it won't fall as much compared to some of the other coins at the moment because of the strength that it's got at the moment. So we done render. Let's look at PEPE maybe. PEPE because PEPE, I'm tracking it from a shorting perspective in the future. I think in the future we would want to short PEPE when we get to the top, but we're nowhere near there. But I think we'll review it on a week-by-week basis. So PEPE, this is a bullish setup here. So we had a divergence here. So again, if I put the measurements on, you can see here divergence here was RSI 50.19. RSI price goes lower and RSI goes higher, 51.65. So that's a divergence on the daily chart. So of course, you go up. Again, you can see that the volume dried up yesterday. The volume wasn't strong enough. So of course, consequently, price is starting to come back down. So PEPE is another one again where we think, price falls between this box. So somewhere between like 936 and somewhere here, which is 892. Or alternatively, we could come all the way back down here, which is 85, to kind of give you a lower high, a lower low type scenario before you go up. So PEPE is, did we look at the weekly chart? Yeah, so weekly chart, yeah. So, we kind of test the wick here. It may well be that it comes all the way back down here, 855. before we go up. But if Bitcoin sustains this move, then this will also go up. It will go up as well. So that's PEPE as well. Pendle is another one that we will be closely shorting it when it gets to the top. But at the moment, we are nowhere near. So we just keep monitoring it. So Pendle is another one that we forming a kind of we formed our bullish divergence. This was the divergence. So here you can see we went down on RSI 40.10, going lower, but the RSI went high 40.53. And since then we've done a level 1, a level 2, and we are scaling down to go and form our level 3. So this thing will go up next week. As soon as price maybe, you seem to even have a double bottom type scenario. So, price is here is what? 357, and here is also 360. So very close, very close. But I think Pendle will go up as well. It'll go up, maybe it comes back down a little bit more, maybe to somewhere here. And gives you another divergence, and then off it goes. And it goes all the way up to here, somewhere there, 582. It's on the cards on Pendle. So another good setup there as well. Let's put a line on it so we know what we spoke about. Put a line here and put a line for our profit target, and put a line here. So we reviewed last week, we see where price went. So that's Pendle. If we go and look at SUI, because SUI's done a very strong move, but again, the volume on the weekly chart, we can see that the volume is tailing off. So if you look at the volume here, you can see clearly that the volume is tailing off. We are kind of tailing off on our volume. So if this week closes like this, that's not good. Then we're more likely to retrace back into this box here. Somewhere in this box, price will come back into this box before we go up. The daily chart, if we look at it from a daily chart perspective, what you can see is we've already started falling. So we started falling already, and we're coming. And I expect us to continue coming down and coming down. At the very least, 1.99. But I think realistically 182. But I think these lines keep moving up. These lines keep moving up. So maybe 190, fair crack, 190. It will hit 190, then bounce up again to about 210 before maybe if there's more action down, it comes down. So that's what's more likely to happen on SUI. But if Bitcoin doesn't maintain 61.4, then SUI could be on his way all the way back down to 133. But I don't think so. I don't think it's likely based on Bitcoin's price action. I don't think it's likely there. Probably just comes back to test this here, and continues going up again. Look at it on a 12-hour perspective. So what we can see, so we've come down. So we've already come down, and we're kind of forming a bullish candle already. This is looking like a bullish candle to me. If it maintains, 12 hours is not yet, we'll be at midnight. And then 4 hours, we look at it from that's 12 hours, isn't it? We looked at 12 hours. Look at 8 hours. 8 hours suggests there's more downward action first because of this big red candle, which has not been exceeded yet. So maybe it tries to go up a bit to about somewhere here, comes all the way back down again to your 202 first. And then we'll probably bounce back up again and then continue the journey into our box. So 8 hours suggests more downward action. If we go for 4 hours, we've done kind of our initial move to the downside, and then we're trying to bounce. If it continues to go up, maybe to about somewhere here, maximum. That'll be the maximum 223 to give you a lower high, and then continue. But I think it's more likely going to go down. It's going to go down towards to this target. I've got my TP profit there because I already have a short on this one. So that's what I'm expecting on SUI. And then maybe it comes back into our box. So that box is down there. So that's SUI. Then let's look at there's another one that I wanted to bring to focus, which is CETUS. Yeah, so CETUS is another one. It's linked to SUI, right? Marshall, you probably know this better than I do. Is it a DEX for SUI? Yeah. So
it's a DEX, yeah.
Yeah, it's a DEX. So if SUI goes up, the DEX also goes up. And as you can see, because SUI was going up, CETUS also went up. But again, we've got that stopping candle here, and we've come down and we've had lower high. And I think that continues to roll down as well. It's trying to go up again, but once these candles are red, I know it's just a bit of hot air. So it will likely roll down like SUI will roll down and continue its journey to maybe about 19.6, or maybe between here and here at the very least. We will get that between 18.8 and 19.6. It will fall in there. Ultimate destination will be somewhere here, which is the 50-day moving average, which will test that before it can go up again. So it's looking good, like a good short, but I think you've got to be taking profit quickly on this one if you want to take a short on it. It's a quick in, quick out type of trade, because if we're looking at it on a larger scale, then there is more movement to the upside before it cools off. There's more movement to the upside. I think there's more push to the upside on this one. It could even go and test the high of 2.4 or 2.5 before it collapses. So 2.5, 2.7 before it collapses down. So I think those are our coins that I guess we've got to review. Is there any other coin that anybody wants us to maybe to have a look?
Can you check like I think it's SPY. It's a meme coin on Solana, which has been booming up and down, up and down.
SPY.
Yeah, that one. It's SPY.
This one.
It's
That one.
what is it? SPX? Let me have a look. Be going up and down crazy.
Oh, XPX, this one here.
SPX, yeah. Yeah, SPX 6900.
Wow, this it's very difficult to look like. It's just kind of like been doing nothing and just pop, boom. Like yeah, if I was in this trade, I would take my profit, because this gap which has been closed, which has been created here, will be closed. So if I was in the trade on this, I'll be taking my money, because we've gone way, way beyond the boundaries of where it should go initially. So yeah, if I was in this trade, then yes, I would take my money. I
Yeah,
definitely.
it's gone crazy. You think it's worth short?
You can't short it, because I don't think there's an opportunity to short on it.
It's not
It's not one
short.
short, so there's no perpetuals on it. It's just spot trading. So yeah, but I would definitely take my profit if I was in this, because to move from the 200 jump, you see the jump, it means like that's panic buying, right? Huge panic buying. And then after that, we're now starting to see a red candle. So yeah, I would take my profit. Certainly I would. I'll be very quick to take profit if it was me. 4 hours, again, you can see it's starting to roll over. MACD is coming back downwards, and this thing is starting. It's going to roll over. And this gap will be closed. It will close this gap. Even if you go up more, you close the gap. I think you remember you when you had CETUS, yeah? If you remember CETUS, right? Let me just bring CETUS. CETUS was another one that CETUS down, yeah? I remember when you flagged this coin, it did the same thing, right? So let's go to a higher frame. We can pick it up on a higher frame. Yeah. So CETUS did a similar thing. It was like okay, I think they've deleted that section of the chart, but it was doing nothing. It was doing nothing, and then jumped to zero. It jumped quite high. I think it did go high, and I think I told you that it was going to come to a certain price, and because the gap that it had created on that jump had to be filled up. But I don't think it's this chart. There's another one which maybe I'm
It's
not.
not. It's not the. I don't think it's Sinkers down. Maybe it's rebranded.
Or was it? Was it just CETUS what? CETUS Sync. It was Sync. I think that was the name for it, wasn't it? Sync. It was Sync. Is it this one? CETUS. Yeah, let's try this one. Could be this one. This one, I think. Yeah, it could be this one, but I think it's no. They've taken that section of it off. They've taken it off because yeah, it was a very similar story there. It was always going to come down back into the box, back into
The
the.
one that is bonk is at least you can have some history of trading bonk.
Bonk, I have it here. I've got bonk somewhere here. Yeah, I've got bonk. Yeah, I think bonk is also looking good. Like, it's going to do a pullback. It's probably done this on the weekly charts, done a good pullback. Um, and it's touched the 9-day moving average here. So it's just a case of testing the wick. So, maybe it falls back to maybe 50% of the wick, which is 2014, and then continues on going up. Yeah, this is a pullback. This is not a collapse. It's a pullback to go up some more. It's kind of done quite a good amount of falling already. We don't have the MACD to help us to count, but if we go to the daily chart, we might be able to see it better. The coins are all they're all full of Bitcoin, right? You can see, it's like it tries to break above the 200. Bitcoin tries to break above the 200, comes back. This is just like a replica of Bitcoin. You see that? Like it goes up, comes back in, tries to go one, tries to go two, three. It's the same. Like we'll bring Bitcoin. Look at that. Can you see the parallels? Goes up, comes back down, tries to go up, one, tries to go up again. tries, so they're all following Bitcoin. They're all follow Bitcoin's price action, except for the odd one, which maybe shoots above punches above his weight, like TIA is punching above his weight at the moment. We can look at, what's the name? We can look at maybe, I don't know, say, but it's not one that we are actively. Now, I want us to focus on a core, like core group of coins. If you're going to trade it, then fine, we add it to it and review it on a weekly basis. But yeah, those are the coins that I think you're playing. So we got our kind of playbook already lined up. And this play thing, you just have to be patient and let it play out because I remember last week, Monday, things were like if you go on a daily chart, Monday, where's Monday? So this was Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, no, Monday. When we drew the lines for the price to come up down last week, Monday, October, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Yeah. So this was it, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Right. So Monday, guess what? See what? We have a push in price. Boom, price went way up, 573. And I remember at one point, you know, I think George asked the question, Charlie, the thing is going up. Oh. It's only Monday, let's let it play out. And guess what? It came back into the box. And if we just came back into our box to buy, you just have to let the process play out. So if this even goes up, it will come back. I think it will come back into the box. It will come back down because it can't just keep going. It needs to cool off and continue. So I expect that we'll come back into the box and then have the energy to continue just the same way as Bitcoin is doing. So Bitcoin is doing the same. It's trying to pull down first before going. So all the coins will do the same, very much the same. So we just have to, be patient and let it play out. And then, by Thursday, Friday, I'm sure, everything will become very clear by Wednesday, Thursday. But if we trade in the way we trade, then it doesn't matter because you open both long positions and short positions, right? So, and you close one, or you reduce the position on one, take some profit on one, and then increase the position on the other. Make sure your liquidation risk is managed. Then it doesn't matter. One goes up, so long as you are heavily weighted more long to short, you can decide to just leave it and do nothing with it and just let it play out and not even look at it, to be honest, till maybe Saturday. Because price is never going to go to like here. It's never going there. It's not going to happen. Worst case scenario comes slightly below this one, 317, 305, something like that. Worst case scenario. So you can just leave it and just let it play out and put your TP profit around the seven something, 720, zone 7.4. Or this one is sitting at 725, even 730. Let's put the TP profit there. It's gonna hit it at some point maybe if not next week, it will be probably in 2 weeks' time. And just leave it and just let it play out.
Are you also watching Dot?
What?
Polkadot. Are you watching it or not?
Oh, no. I think I've got it somewhere, but I've got it somewhere on one of my.
It doesn't move too.
No.
It's lowest.
Yeah, Polkadot is, yeah. I mean, to be honest, you need narrative. Crypto is all about narratives, right? So what is going to push? What is the narrative for Polkadot that's going to push it up? But I mean, the chart, if you look at it from a chart perspective, then, yes, we've had our lower high, kind of low point here. And we kind of came back and tested that wick. Yes. So we tested it here. So when lower, we have a divergence there. And then we've gone up and we put up from a lower high. And so, yeah, so, it can go up. And MACD is also green. So it can go up. Volume of selling is declining. So it can go up. It can go up some more. But, like you see the way SUI is moved, it's because of marketing, right? It's marketing. They basically have got what Rob Paul or whoever it is on Twitter and on YouTube just talking about SUI. You go into, if I just bring YouTube up. YouTube.
Yeah, he's on a board of SUI Foundation.
Yeah, he's been giving some free tokens. And so if I say SUI, right, I just say search. Look at this. Yeah. So you got SUI, yeah, marketing, right? This guy is talking about it. You've got, SUI coin. these, yeah, you've got Ben Armstrong talking about it. You've got Rob Paul there, Uh, okay, this one is a bit old. Yeah, you see, all these other small YouTube channels, are just basically shilling Sui, right? Shilling
They're shilling it. It's like they're comparing it now to
to,
to
to
Saul,
Solana.
Saul, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, Sui is the new Solana, blah blah blah. It's a marketing gimmick, right? It's a marketing gimmick. So they're marketing the coin, yeah. And you see here, this guy 2 weeks ago, he was talking about it. He was shilling it 2 weeks ago. They've all kind of, most of them have been giving tokens, probably to talk about it. Especially Raw Paul, he said it anyway. I've been giving some free tokens, right? So, I'm gonna talk about it. So yeah, Sui is pumping hard because of the marketing. People are saying, yeah, you need to buy it because it's gonna go to $20, it's gonna go to $100. But when you look at the tokenomics on Sui, it's not a Solana. I mean, if we have a look at CoinGecko and look at the tokenomics on it, and say Sui, right, and put it on it, look, it's 10 billion tokens. 10 billion. And if you go and compare it and the market cap is currently what, 6 billion? 6 billion, right? And then compare it to Solana. So how many tokens? It's half the tokens of Sui. And this market cap is 68 billion. You can, okay, somebody will say, oh yeah, if it does even half of Solana's, okay, 6 billion, it had for you to do 10x on Sui, it has to do 68 billion for you to do a 10x. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's just not possible. If only half the token is able to only generate 68 billion market cap, and then double the token also generates 68 billion market cap. I mean, that's insane. It's just that the numbers don't make sense. It's not likely to happen. You may get $5, yeah, you may get $4, yes, but that's only just a 2x from here. And the way they dumping the tokens as well, the way the foundation is dumping the tokens, they're already selling what, how many? If we go to like news, let's check the news section. There is news about, I think the token on release or whatever here. So they had let's see here. They had some token unlocks which was coming out, which was big. Danger of 50% drop. Yeah, this one here. So there's a token unlocks on Sui, and they've unlocked 1 billion tokens. Like, where is it? I can't find the story, but there is if I put it here, probably it's going to be Sui token unlocks. There'll be news on it. Somebody will have the news on CoinGecko about news. Where is it? I can't find the news, but yeah, there was news on it about almost a billion tokens are being sold by the people who made the coin, right? So, and they will sell those billion tokens. That's almost like a tenth of what the supply is. I mean, like, and they will market it, right? So they will shill it and shill it and shill it. Like I'm saying, this pump this pump here probably is the big pump, right? So that's the attraction. That's what it's like bees, right? You could have some nectar to attract them. So, this big volume, everybody who sees this big volume on a chart knows, okay, it's gonna go higher. So I could go buy and, go buy and it will go higher. At the very least, slightly higher next week and, take my profit. So those guys who've got those 1 billion tokens, they'll just be selling into it. Whilst all the other people who are watching the videos saying, yeah, it's the new Solana, it's going to go $100, $150, they'll be buying. The institutional guys will be selling, and the volume will be coming down and down and down, and then they will be left holding the bag. That's exactly what happens. Like, look at this big pump, right? Look at this here. Huge pump, huge volume. And after that, yeah, price keeps going up, but look at the volume. So you see the volume keeps drying out, drying out, drying out. But retail can't help themselves because they are telling them it's going to go to $10 at this point. So they keep buying. Then they dump big on them. They buy again because they say, oh yeah, it's gonna go, it's gonna go. Then they start dumping, and they are left holding the bag. And it drops almost 60% or 90%. This dropped all the way to what? 80% drop. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. So we've got a big pump, huge pump, and you start seeing that the volume will start going down, the price will keep going up, the price will keep going up, and at some point it won't be long, like it won't be long at all, maybe 2 months. So as you can see from here, January, and by March, 3 months, the game was over. So same here, we've had our pump in what? September, October, November, December. December, this coin would have finished going up and it will start cascading downwards. And it will be a big fall, a very, very big fall, huge, huge fall. I mean, it will be back down to 0.5 and below when we hit the top. But as we review these coins on a weekly basis, we'll see it. The moment you see we have something like this, then we start going up and you see the volume dropping, tiny volumes, our pencil will be sharp for a good short. We start opening shorts. As soon as we see that, we'll be opening shorts and managing risk, of course, and then sitting in it all the way back down. The same way here, we are also sitting in it, trying to sit in it to go up to the top. Another example is tier, right? So if you look at how it happens, you have the big pump, right? Big pump comes into the market to attract people. Oh, tier is pumping. Everybody jumps onto it. They sell a little bit of their bags. The big institutions, they sell a little bit, push the price down. People buy. But look at that. Volume then goes up slightly. Then it starts scaling down and price keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. And that's a warning short, right? Then you get your stopping candle on the weekly chart. So that's a stopping candle on a weekly chart. Then you have a retrace. Then you have a kind of a slight push up. And then that's it. And then from then onwards, they keep selling and selling and selling and selling and selling and selling and selling. This is where we are. This is the same thing is going to happen here. So we've got a big pump, huge pump. We'll probably get another good pump, I'm sure, good pump to get us to $9. And then from $9, we'll be going up and up and up and up and up. But the volume will be going down and down and down and down. And we would have done 3 levels by then. So you can see 1 level here, 2, 3 levels. And then you have a moonshot. This is a moonshot. Normally when the 3 levels are done, we put our shorts, we open our shorts at the top, and then we leave it from there, let it play out. So when we get there, we'll do the same thing. But we are not there at the top. We need to ride to the top and then take our money from the top, ride bottom to top, and then we ride it back down again. We'll probably make more money going down than we make going up. So that's some key things that obviously we need to look out for.
So on this one, Ken, if it's like you think it's gonna make more money down, so you put more weight on the short side, right?
not at this particular point in time.
No, when it goes to the top, to the more
Yeah,
short level.
when we get to the top, because at the moment we are at the bottom, right? So we are bottoms going up. So, weighting, we have to be weighted heavier on longs than shorts. The only reason why I flipped mine is because I'm expecting a pullback into next week, yeah, because that's the pattern. So, whenever you have these bullish candles, right? Bullish candles, you always pull back into the candle. At the very least, you get about 50% drawdown of the candle, of the body of the candle, at the very least. Even if we don't get anything, we're gonna get something somewhere there. That says, okay, look, the uptrend is so strong that we couldn't get enough of a pull down to bring it somewhere here, But I definitely expect us to. I think this was last week's, yeah, actually, yes, this was last week's numbers. These were the numbers we drew for last week. These were last week's numbers, 5, 10, and we drew another one there, TP on short and order. And all we had to do is just let it play out. That's all. It came right into it. And again, you can see when you have these wicks, you go up, then you come back into it. The same way, this one, we will come back into this candle again this week. We will come back into it. And I think we've drawn the lines on this chart. Where is the chart? Yeah. Our new ones is on, did we draw it here? Or, no, it's on a different chart here. Yes. So it's on the Binance one. So this week we put it on Binance. Last week it was on Bybit. So this week we put it here and we're saying we've gone up, but we expect us to pull back. Even if we don't pull back anywhere, it will be somewhere there. 565 at the very least. We'll come back into 565. That's the barest minimum. You say, okay, look, the move to the upside was so strong that even another one here. That's another one here. So you see, when we open next week, we came back down first. At least a proportion of this candle was taken down first because the move was so strong. So we went up, but we pulled back first before going up. So we expect the same scenarios to play out. There will be a pull back down into the body of this candle, or at the very least into this zone, because of where we expect Bitcoin to also land. So Bitcoin it will come back down afterwards. It will pull down afterwards before we go up. Hence why obviously I've gone slightly more weighted on my shorts, but I'll buy some more tier again. I'll buy some more tier around this zone here, 28, 30s. When it comes back into that zone, I will pick it up, or I might pick it up somewhere here in the 60s. Maybe let's add another line there. I said, add another line here. Yeah, that's an area that actually we can pick up. So I'll pick up a few here and add it to my long positions. Take some profit off my short, and reduce my short from this place. I'll reduce my short dramatically back to maybe 500 coins or maybe 1,000 coins, proportionately to my longs, and my longs might be maybe 4,000 or 3,000. So just bear with me one moment. I think someone is knocking the door. Hello? Hi. Right. Okay. So I think that's what we've got. That's what we've got. Tia is making quite a good move again back up. So, which is good. Another move to the upside. Look at it on a 1-hour chart. This move is quite strong, so it probably goes back up again. Let's see if we got divergence somewhere. No, 4 hours. Oh, there is a divergence here. There's a divergence there. Yeah. So if I put this on, yeah, this is 63.01, and that is 64. Oh no, it's not, is it? No, it is 60. This one is 63.01, and this one is 64 higher. Yes, so RSI is higher, price goes lower. So there's a divergence here, and no wonder it's going up. Yes. So we have a divergence of 4 hours. So it probably will go up and touch here, which is 631 before coming back down. Yeah, most likely. And that's because Bitcoin is probably also doing the same thing. Yeah, Bitcoin is trying to bounce up. So, but Bitcoin hasn't got a divergence on it. There's no divergence yet on Bitcoin yet. So, but it's touched 62K. Let's see here. So it's touched 62K. But there's no divergence yet. No divergence here yet. There is a divergence forming on 12 hours. So if 1 p.m. is like this, then it will probably pull down a little bit to about 62.4 and then continue the journey. But it has to, this is obviously a 12-hour candle. So 1 a.m. midnight is when we expect this to close. So we can't draw conclusions yet on that one. What we can draw on is this one here, and the fact that we've come back to touch the 50, and I think we are getting a rejection, I'm sure. So yes, we'll come and touch this again. So we're being rejected here, rejection. And I think maybe we'll try again. And then if we reject it again, then that seals the deal in terms of the downward action. So I think, yeah, the higher time frame numbers are what we will stick with. We stick with higher time frame because that's more mature data, and then wait for it to play out. Okay, any more questions before we call it a wrap? No?
Okay, no, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. It was a good,
So
it's a good to see this.
if anything changes on Monday, so Monday when I get up and I see the candle that's formed, so like midnight, I'll be sleeping, I'll enjoy my lovely bed. I will be getting up. Monday morning by 5 a.m. I'll be up anyway, so when I'm up, I'll review it. And if there's any change, I'll let you know. But I don't think there'll be a drastic change because it's 6 o'clock, it's only 6 hours left. And then if there's any change, I'll obviously update it on the platform. But I'll post the video. I will stop recording. And if you want to watch it later, I'll put it also on our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, I'll send the link, but I won't share it widely. It will just be for you guys with a link to come and review it if you want to.